In the tumultuous crucible of 16th century Italy, amidst warring city-states and foreign invasions, a new philosophy of power was forged. Niccolò Machiavelli, a Florentine diplomat, witnessed firsthand the fragility of republics and the brutal realities of political survival. His masterpiece, The Prince, born from exile and despair, was not a treatise on ideal governance, but a stark, unflinching manual for acquiring and maintaining authority in a world governed by ambition and conflict. Machiavelli's Italy was a land of paradox, artistic brilliance coexisting with political chaos. He observed the ruin of Italian states, not through a lack of resources, but a deficit of decisive leadership and unified vision. The book was a desperate plea for a strong leader, a new prince, capable of uniting the fragmented peninsula and expelling foreign invaders, drawing lessons from both historical examples and contemporary figures like Cesare Borgia. Central to Machiavelli's revolutionary thought was the concept of Verità Effettuale, the effectual truth. This radical departure from traditional political theory demanded a focus on how things actually are rather than how they ought to be. Previous philosophers had built ideal republics, but Machiavelli grounded his advice in the harsh, observable realities of human nature and political action, stripped of moralistic pretense. For Machiavelli, a prince's actions should not be judged by their inherent goodness or evil, but by their efficacy in securing and maintaining power for the state. This pragmatic approach meant abandoning utopian ideals in favor of practical outcomes. It was a revolutionary call to confront the world as it truly is, acknowledging humanity's inherent flaws and ambitions as fundamental components of statecraft. Machiavelli meticulously categorized principalities, beginning with hereditary ones. He noted their inherent stability. It is much easier to hold states that are accustomed to being governed by the family of their prince. The established customs and traditions provide a natural foundation of loyalty, requiring less effort from the ruler, provided they do not deviate too drastically from ancestral ways. This stability contrasts sharply with the challenges faced by new rulers. Mixed principalities, however, presented a far greater challenge. These are new acquisitions added to an existing state. Machiavelli warned that men change their masters willingly, hoping to better themselves. This initial hope often turns to disillusionment, leading to rebellions. To maintain control, a prince must either live in the newly acquired territory or establish colonies, integrating the new subjects while neutralizing potential threats swiftly and decisively. He also analyzed ecclesiastical principalities, unique in their governance, held by ancient religious institutions, which are so powerful and of such a character that they maintain their princes in power no matter how they live and act. These states, supported by divine authority, required no defense yet were never lost. Conversely, civil principalities arose from the will of the people or the nobles, requiring shrewd management of public opinion and factional interests. Maintaining conquered territories, especially those with different languages or customs, demanded strategic foresight. Machiavelli advised either devastating them or residing there personally. Failing that, sending colonies was a superior option to maintaining a large army, which burdens the whole state. The prince must also weaken powerful neighbors and protect weaker ones, ensuring no single entity grows strong enough to challenge his dominion. Perhaps the most controversial aspect of The Prince is its stark separation of morality from politics. Machiavelli argued that a ruler cannot always act according to conventional virtues if they wish to survive and prosper. A prince, so as to hold his state, is often forced to act against faith, against charity, against humanity, and against religion. The ends for the state's preservation often justify means that would be deemed immoral in private life. This does not mean a prince should be wantonly cruel, but that cruelty, well used, can be a necessary tool. Cruelties are well used when they are done at a stroke of necessity to secure one's self. They must be executed swiftly and decisively, then stopped, allowing the people to forget and benefit from the stability achieved. Prolonged or arbitrary cruelty, however, inevitably breeds hatred and undermines the prince's authority. The prince, therefore, must learn not to be good when circumstances demand it. This radical notion, often misinterpreted as advocating pure evil, was instead a pragmatic recognition that a ruler operating in a world of imperfect men cannot afford the luxury of consistent virtue. The reason of state dictated that the survival and prosperity of the principality transcended individual moral precepts, demanding flexibility and calculated ruthlessness. Yet, while a prince might act immorally, he must always appear virtuous. It is well to seem merciful, faithful, humane, religious, upright, and to be so, but with a mind so framed that should you need to be the contrary, you may be able to change to it. Maintaining a public image of integrity is crucial for gaining popular support and deterring enemies, even if the reality behind the facade is far more complex and calculating. One of Machiavelli's most enduring questions concerns whether it is better for a prince to be loved or feared. He acknowledges that it would be well to be both, but since this is difficult, it is much safer to be feared than to be loved if one of the two has to be wanting. Love is fickle, dependent on the goodwill of subjects, while fear is a constant, powerful deterrent rooted in the dread of punishment. He elaborates that men have less hesitation in offending one who is beloved than one who is feared. Love is a bond of obligation easily broken when personal advantage dictates, whereas fear is maintained by a dread of punishment which never fails. A prince who relies solely on love risks betrayal and instability, highlighting the precarious nature of human loyalty when not underpinned by a healthy respect for authority. However, Machiavelli adds a crucial caveat. A prince must make himself feared in such a way that, if he does not gain love, he avoids hatred. To be hated is perilous, leading to conspiracies and rebellion. A prince must avoid seizing the property or violating the women of his subjects, as these are primary sources of popular resentment. Hatred, unlike fear, can incite subjects to actively seek the prince's downfall. The prince's actions, therefore, must be calculated to inspire fear without crossing the line into tyranny. He must ensure that his subjects perceive him as a just dispenser of punishment rather than an arbitrary oppressor. By respecting their fundamental rights to property and family, and by providing a stable and secure environment, a prince can cultivate a fear that is compatible with, or at least does not preclude, a degree of popular acceptance and respect. Machiavelli introduces the concepts of Virtù and Fortuna as the two primary forces shaping human affairs. Virtù is not moral virtue, but rather the capacity for decisive action, skill, courage, foresight, and adaptability. It is the human agency, the ability of a prince to navigate complex situations, seize opportunities, and impose his will upon events through strength of character and strategic acumen. Opposite Virtù stands Fortuna, the unpredictable force of luck, chance, or fate. Machiavelli saw Fortuna as a powerful, often capricious element beyond human control. It represents the unforeseen circumstances, the changing tides of fortune that can elevate or ruin a prince regardless of his abilities. Fortuna, like a raging river, can sweep away even the most carefully laid plans. Yet, Machiavelli believed that Virtù could, to a significant extent, contend with Fortuna. He famously likened Fortuna to a furious river, which, when it is enraged, floods the plains. While its power is immense, men can, when the weather is calm, make provisions for it with dikes and dams. Thus, a prince equipped with Virtù can prepare for adversity, mitigate risks, and even exploit opportunities presented by Fortuna's whims. The prince culminates in a passionate exhortation for a new leader to liberate Italy from foreign domination. Machiavelli believed that with sufficient virtù, a prince could overcome the vagaries of Fortuna and achieve greatness. His work remains a timeless, often controversial guide to the harsh realities of power, reminding us that effective leadership frequently demands difficult choices, pragmatism over idealism, and a profound understanding of both human nature and political necessity.